Okay, hi everybody, it's Kim again from the Girl Scouts of Northeast Ohio, here to help you with your horse riding badge. And today, instead of you listening to me talk too much, I'm going to introduce you to some of my friends here. To start with, we have Adriana, and I'm going to let her say hi. Hey there.
Hi, this is Adriana. She's 14 too. She used to be a Western pleasure horse, which is like slow riding kind of. We turned her into an English horse, which is like a fancy dancy horse. She is a dark bay.
Okay, so bay, that's how you tell her coloring with her dark socks, right? On her legs. Yeah?
She is a goofball.
I see that. She's hamming it up for the camera. So tell me a little bit about, I love your outfit today.
Thank you.
Adriana is a Girl Scout. She's a junior. And she's very talented. You said that your horse just took champion? Grand champion. Holy moly, that's amazing. And so look at this fancy saddle, guys. This is a really beautiful Western saddle. And you can see it's much different than even the saddle I showed you last week. So Western saddles can be different as well. And so we're going to come back to you in just a moment so that you can teach us how to put on a bridle. Sound good? Okay. All right. And so then we have our other friend, Kayda. And how about you tell us a little bit about your guy here?
This is Micah. He was 5th place for the world in 2016 in dressage, which is like what she said, a fancy riding.
Mm-hmm.
He's 16.3 hands, and he's 16 years old.
Wow, he looks really good for 16 years old. That's amazing. And so what kind of gear do you have on him?
So this is a dressage saddle.
Okay, gotcha. A little less clunky than that big Western saddle, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think the horses might like it a little bit better than the big clunky stuff?
Yeah.
Probably, just a little bit. All right, well, let's go ahead and let Adriana show us how to put on a Western bridle. Even though she currently has on this beautiful rainbow colored halter, which is super fancy. Let's start by putting those reins over. I'm going to remove the halter. There we go. We're going to keep a hold. Curious. That's okay.
She's like, you got treats? That's what she's thinking.
Yeah.
Come on, open it up. Come on.
Got to be firm with those horses, right? We know.
Come on.
Take the
Edge it
bit.
out.
Sometimes they don't feel like taking the bit, you know. We talked about this in our last video.
Get it?
Come on. Thank you.
There we go. And I love the manners. Thank you. Thank you. Got to put the ears through there, and you want to pull that forelock back through so we're not pulling on their hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of snap up the bit or the bridle. I think you see how she's adjusting to that bit, but remember what we talked about last week, that bit does not hurt. There's a space in their teeth to allow for that. So very good. Okay, guys, we're going to head on out to the arena now, and so we'll let Adriana and Kayda tell you about how to lead your horse. So, all right. So remember, we're on the near side. We talked about that in our last segment. You could see how they're holding the reins because they already have their bridles on. And close enough, and notice that the horses will stop with you, right, when you stop, so they know what to do. When you stop, they stop, when they're being good anyway, right? Okay, so this is the arena. And by the way, we're at Dream On Farms in Columbia Station. This is a beautiful facility and some great folks here. So now we're going to talk about mounting. I'm going to shut that gate just to make it easier. And, all right, so ladies, do you use a mounting block, or you probably don't need that the way I do, or you do?
I do.
You do, yeah, good. So that makes me feel better. So what is the mounting block? We talked a little bit about it at our last segment, but it's like Stairs?
Stairs.
Like stairs. Yeah.
Watching a horse.
Yeah. All right. So do you want to go ahead and show us how you mount your horse? The reins go over.
Stand.
And she said stand. So she got a voice command, but she took a step back.
Stand. Stand.
Puts the left foot in. Spin around there. All right, there we go. And then we're going to adjust in that saddle, make sure everything feels good.
I think it needs to go up one more.
Yeah, I think your stirrups are a little too long for you. All right, so we'll have to get that fixed.
Adriana, come on.
So the horses are well aware that I am standing here with this camera, and it's different for them. So we're going to let Adriana go on over there, and she'll get her stirrups adjusted. And Kayda is now going to mount Micah. Did I say the names right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So again, we're going to take that dressage saddle and bridle and put that over. Still the reins go over so that Kayda can hold on to him while she's mounting. And again, up and over. So very nice. All right. So we're going to go ahead and let Adriana get her stirrups adjusted, and then we will be back. Yep.
Oh, not me.
Oh, not you. Okay, well, I'll try to keep you out of it.
Here, I
Okay.
can-
There we go. So this is Susie, and she helps at the barn, and she's adjusting the stirrups so that Adriana can have her legs the right way. So you can see it slides up and down. There's that buckle.
Yep, and this should lock it into place.
And so then we'll see if her foot makes sense. So we want to be able to keep the ball of our foot in the stirrup, and then the heels down, as you can see. And you can see these boots we talked about last time too. You want to have a little heel so your foot don't go all the way through, and you don't want it real chunky so you get stuck in there, right? All right, so the next, we're in requirement 4, and what we're going to show now, ladies, is just how do you get your horse to move forward? What do you say? What do you do with your legs?
So I
Right?
usually just squeeze and he'll walk.
A little squeeze?
Sometimes I have to use my whip to give him a little pat.
Okay, so sometimes you got to give them a little help with the aid there, but just a little squeeze, and you can see Micah just walked right on. And we're adjusting a left stirrup here, so we'll come back to that in just a moment. This arena is beautiful. Nice, slow, controlled, very cool. Very cool. Okay. And let me see if we, all right, so how do we walk forward? There we go. There we go. Very subtle. It doesn't take a lot of action to make your horse walk. Usually a slight squeeze, and they know what you mean. So now we are in motion. And here comes Micah and Kayda. So the girls both have different bridles because they have different styles on their horses, dressage versus Western, and so the reins are a little bit different too. What you're going to notice is that Adriana has, her reins are in one hand versus one strap in each hand, and that was because in the Western cowboys, they kind of needed their left hand to do other things. So they would ride with one hand on the reins and one hand to usually lasso cattle or something like that. But so we refer to this as neck reining because just feeling the rein on the left or right side of the horse's neck should indicate to them that you want them to turn. So you see her, she's got both reins in one hand. And then Kayda has a rein in each hand. So you could see the placement is a little bit different. And it's a little bit a shorter rein, more connection to the bit. But in both cases, we don't only steer our horses with their bit, right? It has everything to do with the way you sit, the way you shift your weight, the way you move your legs, whether they're forward or back, especially I would imagine on dressage. I've never ridden dressage, but there's a whole lot of fancy moves that goes into that. And would you say that a lot of that has to do with leg placement? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So do you guys want to go ahead and maybe turn in a circle so we can see how you're maneuvering? So maybe turn and go the opposite direction. Just turn around and go the other way. There you go. See that? So you could see these animals are huge and these girls are not huge, and yet they have complete control. Part of that is the relationship that they have with their horses too. They've been working together with these horses for years. I would imagine you guys spend pretty much every day with your horse to some extent. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of fourth graders out there who might not be in the habit of doing something responsible like that for an animal every day. It takes a lot of discipline. And I would say a lot of love for your animals as well. Very nice. So this is a walk, and very calm and collected. There's other gaits, which we talked about before, which is kind of the different speeds, if you will, that a horse will move. The other thing I want to talk about too is just the form. So you can see that the girls are, their body is a specific way on their horse. So their shoulder and their hip and their heel kind of all line up a certain way. And you can actually win awards for this. Acquisition or composition, just by being seated the proper way on your horse. If you do not have good form on your horse will probably not listen to you very well, right? And I do want to point out that both of these ladies, even though they're super talented and they're riding champions, have on that helmet that we talked about. You want to protect your noggin at all costs. You only got one brain up there, right? So safety first is Girl Scout way. And you guys can see these letters on the arena on the wall. So this is to have a point that you can refer to in the arena when you're doing lessons. You might say something like, you know, to turn towards a B, or, you know, to make a figure 8, but you can also use these letters on the wall as a reference. And usually you don't want the horses to be distracted when they're riding, because you want them to be paying attention to their rider. You can probably tell when the girls are talking to their horses that their ears turn back, as you could see, and they're listening to their rider. They're taking that direction. Also, you can tell what the girls are looking right through the poll of the horse, right between the ears. So they're looking forward. Really good posture, super important. And all right, well, now I think what we're going to show is dismounting. So we want to be able to tell the girls at home how to properly dismount your horse. So who wants to go first? Okay.
So I don't use the mounting.
Okay. So usually getting down is a little easier than getting up, and we're not going to use the mounting block. So swing over and down. Awesome job there. I'd point out too that their left foot comes out of the stirrup before they try to drop all the way down. See that? So that way, if the horse takes off, you don't have a foot stuck up in there. Pull the reins back over. Ladies, you did super good today. Thank you so much for sharing your talents and your beautiful horses. Thank you. Is there any last things you guys want to say to the girls at home about horse care or riding? Maybe, you know, what would you recommend to them?
getting the right clothes and boots are important, and making sure that you have the right tack on your horse. It's not about the prettiness, it's about what's comfortable for you and your horse.
Ah, that's great advice. Thank you so much. And any last words from you?
To have a relationship with them, love them, care for them.
Yep. It all comes from you, right? They can't take care of themselves. So good job. Thanks so much today. Really appreciate it. All right, Girl Scouts, good luck to you. I hope that you keep working on your horse rider badge. Oh, yeah, there you go.
To tighten him up some.
Tighten up. You could see the dressage saddle is a little bit different there than the knot that you tie in a Western saddle. You kind of, it's a little easier, I think. So we're going to show some different gaits: walk, trot, canter.
You ready?
All right.
You're in a Western saddle. You're not used to
I'm
that.
not used to it. I can cater and dressage with one hand. I have done it so long.
Oh, wow, you're trying to look.
There we go. Nice little lope there. We're trotting.
Well, this is your dog. Trot. Passing.
That cue, you heard Kayda say passing, so that's so that your rider ahead of you knows that you're coming around. You don't want to startle anybody. It's kind of barn etiquette. What a pretty trot. You can see that Western pleasure, just very low key, very gentle, you know, lopish, I guess you would say, right? And we're going to change direction. I heard Adriana say changing direction, so she's giving her cue.
Circling down at sea.
She said circle.
For the canter.
We're going to ask for the canter, so here we go. There we go. Look at that. How beautiful. See, it's a different motion, kind of got different hoof beats. The canter is a smooth ride, a little less bouncy than the trot, but it is faster.
The Parisian's canter is the only canter out of a horse that where they lift all 4 feet off the ground.
Oh, interesting. I don't know if you guys heard that, but Kayda said that the Frisian, which is what Micah is, their canter is the only breed where all 4 feet are off the ground at the same time. So I don't know if you guys noticed that. All right. So what do we have going on here, Adriana?
We're going to do some spins.
We're going to do some spins. Okay. Watch that. Nice. So you notice the back feet are crisscrossing over one another, and so the butt's going around and the front is staying in one place.
Then we can do a side pass.
A side pass, okay. There we go.
Wait, what's it?
Okay.
Yeah.
We're backing. There we go. So all front and back do that crisscross is what we're working on here.
Okay.
She said walk on. Give the kick. She's signaling for the trot. And there you go.
Can I camera both hands?
Yes, yes. Yeah, so I'm going to do what we're used to and use both hands, which you can do with the Western riding as well. I use two hands with Buck because he's not neck rein trained, so always use two.
I need a trot.
Adriana's not used to using the Western gear, so this is a little bit of a challenge today just because it's not the daily routine. And horses are creatures of habit, so whenever you change anything up, they are going to let you know it. Still got a nice nice trot going. I think Adriana is signaling for a canter now. She's asking again. Take some of the pressure off. Rolling. So now we're in dressage where this is what we're used to. Look at that. And there's the canter. Everything's back to normal. Beautiful. This is the dressage saddle and bridle. And Adriana even changed her clothes. Great horsemanship. Mm-hmm. Nice. Very good. Thank you.
Now I'll show you the side pass.
Okay. All right.
Forward.
What a good sport you are to try all that in the Western saddle.
Adina also says it's lunchtime
Yeah.
and you got me doing all these different things.
Quarter horses.
Mm-hmm. She's like, I'm gonna show you.
She probably doesn't like the camera.
Thank you. Nope. Thank you.
There we go. There we go.
Thank you.
There we go. Very nice. Good job.
She'll usually do it the whole across the arena. So
Oh,
I think
wow.
she says it's lunchtime.
Yeah, it's lunchtime.
Mom, you open the store?
You're gonna take her out?
Thank you so much.